So for this routine is posterior forearm, and we're going to be doing the flexors and the flexor group. And as we're working in there, we have the ulna and the radial nerve that are going to be coming through the elbow. Again, a routine that's used for carpal tunnel syndrome. And again, it can be used for medial and lateral epicondylitis, golfer's elbow, tennis elbow. For all my computer workers who are sitting in a static position most of the day and just typing with this wrist into flexion and or into hyperextension, depending on which ergonomics they're using for their desk. This will be very beneficial for those with those ADLs or RUIs, activities of daily life, or repetitive use injury. So as we're working with the ulna and the radial nerve, this is very simple. You can get as detailed as you want, but this is the basics that I'm going to give you. It's very simple. Just glide the whole posterior forearm. This is a nice time to also give some myofascial type of pressure and stretch and strip and glide. Now you don't have to, in this routine, go too far over. There's another routine for the flexors. So you're going to want to just stay on that posterior aspect and try not to hyperextend the elbow. However, there is a very nice stretch for brachioradialis while you happen to have them in this position, and that's to keep the arm extended and have the client try to flex their wrist and keep it in this position as if it's going down to the floor. And then what you want to do is just give a gentle pressure over top of the wrist. You could also support the hand and curl the fingers in as the arm is extended. If you're cautious enough and skilled enough, you can extend the elbow off the edge of the table and let that brace it for you. And then that will give you a little extra pressure. And that's pulling right through. And sometimes I get fancy and I decide to isolate each finger. And that's also a stretch that can be done for self. You just extend your arm, bend your wrist, and come underneath and pull your hand, bring your fingertips towards you, and then even curl your fingertips, and you're going to feel a pull right through the wrist. These are exercises that you could have your client do or have a person do or do them yourself if you've had a long day doing a lot of treatments and or just your forearms are tight after sports or recreation or just anything. Even just sitting at the computer, taking a break throughout the day, extend the arm, put the wrist into flexion, curl under the fingers, bring them towards you. And if you can take a little added pressure, you can curl your fingers in, and that will pull the tendinous attachments for the extensor group. The flexor group, you just reverse that stretch and pull your fingertips in towards you. All right. So again, posterior forearm routine is nothing major. Just glide all of the extensors on the posterior aspect of the arm, and then just simply go to the lateral epicondyle. That's the little bone right there. Now, this is generally where we laugh and we call it the funny bone. If you go in between the olecranon process and going onto that lateral epicondyle, right in there, there's a canal and there's a groove. You do not want to jam your finger in there or a T-bar or anything else. That's where you'll elicit that paresthesia, like you're hitting the funny bone and it's not very funny. So you're just going to want to go right around this attachment. I tend to put a thumb in the canal. That way I know I'm not going to hit it. And I just friction all of the attachments that are coming to this condyle. So I'll just come in here and friction all the attachments. And if you had a scraper, you can do gua sha with this. If you have Grafton tools, then you can use it and do rotations and pull the tissue down and open that up. But that is a very simple and basic elongation and stripping through the posterior forearm. All right.